On record 03-CR-0288, Commonwealth versus Percy Allen Phillips.
Next, we head to Jefferson County Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky.
Jay Lambert on behalf of Mr. Phillips, Your Honor. He's present and seated next to me.
A hearing is underway to determine if 45-year-old Percy Phillips is competent to stand trial. Phillips is accused of retaliating against a witness inside the courtroom during a previous trial.
And it would be our position that Mr. Phillips is presently incompetent to stand trial. If we end up in trial, there is no way I can competently even frame a defense. I have asked Mr. Phillips, what do you want me to say or do at your trial? And he won't tell me. He literally, for years, has not said a word.
Before turning things over to the prosecution, Phillips' lawyer issues a warning.
Mr. Phillips has shared that he doesn't know exactly what he'll do in certain situations in the courtroom. He thinks he just may explode.
Now it's over to the prosecution.
Your Honor, it's interesting to remember that the conclusion of the case, when the defendant was unhappy with the verdict and unhappy with the sentence, he threatened the police officer who testified against him.
Man, you a goddamn black. You up, man? Who got first thing? I ain't.
Day was 16 to 239. I had to stun Percy Phillips. You want to come on up?
Remember that just moments earlier, Phillips' attorney seemingly predicted what was about to happen.
He thinks he just may explode.
After sitting for more than 20 minutes without showing a single emotion, Phillips erupts
You a mother.
and heads towards the prosecutor's table.
Black.
Phillips is first grabbed by this deputy. What you can't hear on the tape is another deputy in the corner of the courtroom yelling the word taser. This is a signal for the other officer to move out of the way.
Who got first thing? I ain't.
Waiting for emergency personnel to arrive, the judge looks around her disheveled courtroom in disbelief.
Percy Phillips, he's laying on the ground.
Percy Phillips is later deemed incompetent, and the indictment is dismissed. This is not the last time Phillips will see the inside of a Kentucky courtroom. While incarcerated, he's brought up on murder charges after his fingerprints link him to a 2-decade-old homicide. Next, we're in Harlan, Kentucky, for the sentencing hearing of 59-year-old Cletus Robbins Jr. Following a 3-day trial, Robbins was convicted on a litany of shockingly violent charges.
The defendant is guilty of 1, kidnapping and serious physical injury, 2, robbery in the first degree, assault in the second degree, unlawful imprisonment, wanton endangerment first degree, and being a persistent felony offender first degree.
As Judge Kent Hendrickson proceeds with Robbins' laundry list of crimes, the prosecution interjects after Robbins repeatedly turns around and glares at them.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would request that the court give notice to the defendant not to communicate with the Commonwealth.
In the courtroom, defendants are often prohibited from communicating verbally or non-verbally with anyone except their own attorney. Problem is, Robbins isn't exactly a rule follower.
Don't go. Hey, now none of that. Hey, none of that. Now just calm down.
Yeah. You calm down.
You take it easy.
Stand up there on that side, please. Settle down, please.
Fucking jury ass court here.
Listen, buddy, I'm too old for this.
Hey, I'm too old for this too.
With tensions later calmed, Robbins stands in silence as Judge Hendrickson hands down a heavy sentence.
He shall be confined to the state penitentiary for a maximum of 25 years. And that concludes this matter before the court. Thank you.
The sentencing may conclude things for the court, but not for Robbins. That is the sound of Cletus Robbins spitting one of the prosecuting attorneys. Before he's hauled out of the courtroom, Robbins makes a final threat.
the court has that on record. We know that that was a threat, and we will be saving that record for possible criminal charges.
No additional charges were filed against Robbins for his courtroom misconduct. His 25-year sentence stands, and a later appeal of the case was denied. Next, we're in Greenup, Kentucky, where court is back in session after ringing in a new year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Well, same to you.
That's Judge Robert Conley. He's been on the bench for more than 20 years and appears to be happy to be starting another. First up, a probation revocation hearing.
Michael Ferner.
The defendant, Michael Ferner, owes more than $9,000 in overdue child support to his ex-wife. And according to his ex-wife's lawyer, he's failed to follow his court-ordered payment program.
So he's not made any payment in 2019. It just doesn't make any difference, Judge.
Didn't pay anything in the whole year?
Nothing in 2019.
It has been a rough year. I mean, I had 3 boys at home. My wife works full-time. We didn't have a babysitter.
After hearing the defendant's explanation, it's possible Judge Conley could give him a break to start the new year.
Can I ask you a question? What kind of person has 3 kids when you can't even take care of one?
My kids are grown. They're 21 and 19.
But they're living at home.
No, they don't live with their
You just said
mom
you
or
had 3
anything.
kids.
I think
Yeah, I've got 3 little ones with my
5
wife.
kids, Judge. 5 kids. It's owed to the client. Judge, your order was $238 a month plus $50 toward arrearages.
Well, it changed next time I come to court.
You know what? You just need to shut up. The more you talk, the more ridiculous you sound.
And just like that, the judge's New Year's cheer is out the window.
Send him to jail. Send him to jail. Don't talk all you want over there, okay? Talk all you want over there.
As Michael Kerner's taken into custody, Judge Conley issues a stern directive to everyone in the courtroom.
When I'm talking, you better be listening. I only talk if I'm wanting you to know something. Don't try to talk over me. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. If I'm saying anything, you better be damn listening.
20 minutes later, he calls defendant Gary Willis forward. Unfortunately for Willis, he's also here today for failing to pay child support.
Willis, how come you aren't paying what you're supposed to pay?
I thought that I was paying it. I just missed a court date. I got caught up Thanksgiving and absolutely forgot.
What am I supposed to do? What does the victim in your case, the ones for money, I have to answer to them. They say, Judge, he doesn't pay. What are you doing about it, Judge? What are you doing? So do us both a favor and do what you're supposed to do.
That may be good advice, but it turns out Judge Conley's delivery of the message left something to be desired for the Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission. Following the 2 cases, Conley received a public reprimand after an investigation into his, quote, intemperate conduct. Judge Robert Conley ultimately accepted the public reprimand, admitted his behavior was inappropriate, and issued a public apology. We head now to a hearing in Louisville, Kentucky. The defendant, James Roeder's been charged with burglary. His alleged partner in crime? His wife, Ashley. They're both charged with breaking into a warehouse and stealing 6 flat-screen TVs. At the time of the robbery, Ashley was pregnant. James, who's been locked up in county jail since his arrest, has had a no-contact order with his wife, meaning they're not allowed to speak to each other before their court cases because they're co-defendants. While they've been separated, Ashley gave birth to their son.
You sure you're comfortable with this? Is this what you want to do? All right, just stay right there for just a second.
The judge is addressing Ashley, who's in court with her baby for her own hearing. James Roeder, who has just left the courtroom after his hearing, is being brought back in.
I don't want you to say anything to me about your case at all. Don't say anything. Your lawyer's not present right now. But I understand that there is a chance that you're going to go back to Todd County and that your baby is a month old and you haven't met that baby yet. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Roeder, do you want to come up here? I know you have a no contact order between you and Miss Roeder that I have, that I issued, and I'm not changing that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm making a temporary exception right in front of me on the record so that you can meet this baby. This is your son. Be careful. You see his little shirt?
Yeah.
It could be a fair amount of time before Roeder sees his son again.
Give everybody some. All right.
Thank you.
James Roeder is sentenced to 4 years for third-degree complicity burglary.
And Miss Roeder, you can stay up here because I'm going to call your case next.
Ashley Roeder's given probation and is currently taking care of the couple's 2 children.
Thank you for letting me be a part of that. If y'all aren't teared up, then you're just heartless.
Next, we head to Jefferson County Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky.
We are on the record, Commonwealth versus Rayton Woodford.
Allegation, which it is quite serious.
This is 29-year-old Rayton Woodford. He's in the courtroom today for a probation revocation hearing. He'd previously been sentenced to probation for drugs and weapons charges, but violated the terms.
Discovery.
Sitting a few feet away is Woodford's girlfriend.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be truthful?
During Woodford's hearing, a detective provides testimony.
That evening, he was charged with the handgun and narcotics.
And if you know, was Mr. Woodford at the time a convicted felon?
Yes, he was.
Once the testimony concludes, the camera, controlled by Judge Barry Willett, remains locked on the empty witness chair as the judge announces his decision.
Probation revoked in its entirety. Mr. Woodford, I'm going to send you to serve 5 years. Good luck to you. No, ma'am.
That flash across the screen was Woodford making a run for it.
Lock the door back there.
Woodford's girlfriend can be heard pleading with her boyfriend to stop.
Go with me, please.
The record will reflect that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful effort to escape.
Woodford is stopped by deputies. He's brought back into the courtroom now and taken into custody.
Do not pull my hair.
Woodford's girlfriend's upset about her treatment by deputies as she was caught up in the tussle to stop Woodford from escaping.
No, he pulled my hair for no reason. Get off of me. Get off of me. He pulled my hair.
Well, that's a first in 19 years on the bench. She did tackle him on the way out. Are you okay?
A short while later, Woodford's girlfriend requests permission to address the judge about what happened to her.
We're back on the record in the Woodford case, and Mr. Woodford's girlfriend would like to talk to the court.
I didn't do anything. I tried to stop him.
I noticed that.
There's no reason for him to put his hands on me.
Woodford's girlfriend's pointing to a sheriff's deputy who helped prevent Woodford's escape, and in doing so, allegedly had to pull her out of the fray.
He did not. I didn't pose any kind of threat to anybody in here. He jumped that. I tried to stop him.
What I saw was that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful attempt to escape the courtroom, and he was apprehended by law enforcement.
But I understand that. I tried to stop that, but there's no reason for that man to have to pull my hair or push me.
Okay.
But you condone that, right?
I'm not condoning any. No, wait a minute. Come back up here right now.
Okay.
Don't you tell me I'm condoning anything. I just told you what I observed. You made an effort to stop him from leaving. I appreciate that. But in the thick of it, when your boyfriend is fighting with deputies, people might get pushed out of the way. Maybe it was for your own safety. He was going to hurt somebody. So don't tell me I'm condoning anything. I did not say that. Anything else you'd like to say to me?
No, sir.
Thank you.
She leaves the courtroom and is not charged. Rayton Woodford begins serving a 5-year sentence in a Kentucky prison. He now faces an additional charge of second-degree escape. Next, we're in Paris, Kentucky, where 30-year-old Bass Webb has been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. This surveillance video taken outside a Kentucky jail a week earlier captured the moment when Webb, a former inmate there who served 3 months on assault charges, accelerated his car and tried to run over 2 jail employees. One man was able to get out of the way, but one man was injured after Webb's vehicle pinned him against the wall. At his first court appearance before Judge Vanessa Dixon, Webb's bad behavior continued.
Can you order say?
Yeah.
That be yes?
Yes.
Judge Dixon then informed Webb she's recusing herself from the trial because she knew the 2 jail employees he targeted with his vehicle.
There's no way I'm going to try this case or have any further proceedings, or I have to see you for one further step. Set for the hearing next week.
Watch again as Webb literally spit on the judge.
Charge.
But this incident is far from the last time Bass Webb will spit in the face of the law. While waiting to go to trial, he and 4 other inmates incited a riot inside the Fayette County Detention Center. After being shot with beanbag bullets and hit in the neck by a pepper ball, Webb whips a metal telephone box at a corrections officer.
If I were to launch this at someone 10 feet away, because this is capable of stopping that, does not mean that that is not readily capable of causing death or serious physical injury.
Webb was found guilty of 3rd-degree assault and sentenced to 15 years in prison. And for his attempt to run over the 2 jail employees, he was later found guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder and got an additional 37 years. Bass Webb was facing a total of 52 years behind bars, but more disturbing accusations were on the way. While incarcerated, he was charged with the unsolved murder of an ex-girlfriend. Facing a possible death sentence if convicted at trial, Webb pled guilty to the murder and got an additional 50 years. Now, 5 years later, Bass Webb is back in court yet again after being charged with the murder of a different girlfriend nearly a decade earlier. The cold case came back to haunt him after a jailhouse tip led to the discovery of the woman's remains. This time, as he's let in, he reveals a new sinister look that shocks those in attendance. A closer look at Webb's recent head tattoos reveals a demented murder hit list. It reads, "Those that must die, all judges, all prosecutors, all cops, the media." Below that, 3 rats have been scratched out, and many more, plus an expletive on the other side. Gruesome details emerge about how Webb choked his then-girlfriend to death and buried her body in a shallow grave.
Mr. Webb, do you want to come forward?
When the judge asks Webb to come forward, he remains seated and smiles. Finally, after more than a week in the courtroom, the judge reads the jury's verdict.
You have found the defendant guilty of the offense of intentional murder.
Bass Webb is then sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
He's high risk, so I'm going to raise the bond to $5,000.
We're at bond court in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think 1,000 is reasonable given that these are felony charges. Good luck, sir.
Judge Smith has a full plate of bond hearings.
I actually have a car that I'm trying to sell on Craigslist.
Stop talking. I'm going to give you a public defender.
Michael Ray, cases 87 and 88.
Next up is Michael Ray. who's facing 4 charges, including criminal trespassing and second-degree assault. A bond or a bail hearing is usually a quick proceeding if the defendant is cooperative. The prosecutor suggests a bail amount for Ray based on the crime and the defendant's history.
Your Honor, the county's requesting $25,000 full cash behind all charges.
You think that's funny?
I think that's hilarious.
We weren't done.
Ray might feel $25,000 is too high, but sarcasm won't get him a reduction, and the judge lets him know it.
All right, so bond is $50,000. No bail credit, danger to community. Thinks these are funny charges. He's lucky I didn't hold him in contempt.
Ray just had his bond doubled. But as he re-enters the hallway, he has something else to say.
Hope I see him in the street.
Bring him in. I'm holding him in contempt. Adding charges.
Ray's language isn't the only thing to upset the judge. According to court officials, the defendant also gave her the middle finger.
30 days to serve on contempt for flipping me off twice.
Judge calls him back, but it looks like he's gone.
If we bring him back in, he's just gonna get another 30 days for doing something else.
So they move on to the next case.
Case number 90, Scott Raymer.
When, sure enough, Ray comes back for more.
Oh, here he comes. Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for what you did.
What you're holding me in?
And so,
You shut man.
all right, you can take him back. 100 days to serve.
100 days to serve? Okay.
Yeah.
For what? Because of 2 EPOs and criminal mission case?
That's right, the judge just gave him 100 days in jail.
He's done.
Ray could just walk away without making matters even worse, but he goes a different route.
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Can we bring him back?
He's got to be charged. Yes.
What started out as 4 serious charges has grown into a grand total of 10, all in the span of approximately 3 minutes.
I peeked my head around. I said, "Don't."
Yeah. No, I figure that's just a lesson on what not to do, so you all are good.
Let's head to Jefferson Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky.
This is the matter of Adam Satterley.
This is 36-year-old Adam Satterley. Satterley's in court today on a bond hearing related to drug charges. He's appearing before Circuit Judge Olu Stevens, heard off camera.
Your objections notice overruled. Motion's granted.
Satterley's attorney warns his client to stay calm after hearing the bad news.
Taken into custody.
Judge Stevens has revoked Satterley's bond, meaning Satterley will return to custody.
Somebody get it, thanks.
That yell you just heard was Satterley.
Somebody get it, thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now the new year starts. That's all the cases that I have.
The judge seems to be moving on with the day, but then...
Miss Albee, before you go, I mean, Sheriff, right? Can you indulge me 1 second?
Yes, sir, of course.
Can you knock on the door and tell the sheriff to bring Mr. Who's that guy? Satterley? Bring it back. You just tell the sheriff to bring it back. Oh, Brad, you still have Satterley?
I do.
You bring it back.
Bring it back out?
I apologize. Just give me 1 minute. It won't even take that.
The judge has some unfinished business with Satterley.
Is there something that you wish to say to me?
No, it was my brother.
Oh, was that to your brother? Because
Yes,
I
sir.
heard you say a racial epithet.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, you didn't mean it like
No.
that? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to hold you in contempt of court for having said that. And you don't speak those words in here.
Yes,
and
sir.
that word particularly,
Yes,
you
sir.
don't use that word. I'm going to give you 60 days for having used that word. Hold you in contempt right now for having done it in this courtroom. It's disrespectful. Don't ever do it again. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Ms. Ellie. Appreciate it.
Satterley's hit with an additional 60 days for contempt of court. Following the incident, Judge Stevens offered Satterley an opportunity. If Satterley apologizes for using a racial slur, he would reduce the additional sentence to just a day. Satterley took the judge up on his offer.
Yes, sir. I apologize. It wasn't intended for you. I was mad at my brother, is all it was.
Well, you can have a seat. I'll say this, that what you said was a racial epithet that I don't know how it could be directed at your brother, but at any rate, I accept your apology.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we go to a pretrial hearing in Louisville, Kentucky. The defendants are Mario and Jose Guzman, who are out on bond in connection with drug charges. Sitting behind the defense table is Mario's wife, Samantha Ayala. Today, the Commonwealth is asking to increase Mario's bond because of new charges, including second-degree burglary, tampering with evidence, and possession of marijuana. According to the prosecution, these offenses are a violation of his bond agreement. Hearing the motion is Judge Mary Shaw.
Your Honor, in your order, it specifically says no further violations of the law. He picked up new charges. He violated the law.
But the defense is arguing the bond should not be raised because the burglary charge is thin since the victim skipped town.
They don't have the victim because he left town because he's a drug dealer.
The Commonwealth is asking to raise Guzman's bond from $500 to $15,000, which the defense argues is too high.
I mean, we might as well say $100,000 full cash, Judge. It's an amount that Mr. Guzman can't post. That's not the purpose of bond. The purpose of bond is to make sure that someone comes to court.
After several minutes disputing prior testimony, the judge is ready to announce her decision.
I agree. New charges obviously have been picked up. Current bond is not appropriate. It will be $5,000 full cash.
If Guzman can't come up with the new amount, he'll be sent to jail as he awaits trial. A bailiff is ready to take Guzman away, but he has other ideas. Let's take another look. Guzman makes a desperate break for the door. Jose Guzman begs the judge for help.
He's okay. He's okay.
After the deputy deploys his taser, Guzman's wife, Samantha, becomes inconsolable. Court officers wrestle Mario to the ground as Jose shouts instructions.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm joking.
Shut up!
No.
No, my baby's sick.
Samantha is so distraught, officers place her in handcuffs.
She's sick.
Deputies finally remove Guzman from the courtroom. A few of the officers suffer minor injuries, and Guzman is hit with additional charges, 3 counts of attempted assault and criminal mischief. And his bond is increased another $2,500 for a total of $7,500. We're in Lexington, Kentucky, and the sentencing of Trey Alexander Relford. He's pled guilty to the 2015 murder and robbery of Salahuddin Jitmood, a 22-year-old who'd been delivering pizzas. Jitmood was making his final delivery of the night when Relford and 2 accomplices lured him into their apartment complex, then robbed and stabbed him to death.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Before Relford receives his sentence, the victim's father, Sombat Jitmood, a school principal and devout Muslim, speaks directly to the man who murdered his son.
Trey Alexander Relford, I feel so sad for you that you have to be in this situation. I wish I could help you as I help my son to be a good citizen. If Salahuddin were to be here, if he alive, he will forgive you. That's the way he was. That's the way he is. I'm not angry at you for being part of hurting my son. I'm angry at the devil. I blame the devil who misguiding you and misleading you to do such a horrible crime. No, I don't blame you. I'm not angry at you at all. I want you to know that. I forgive you on behalf of Salahuddin and his mother. Thank you.
Before Judge Kimberly Bennell delivered her sentence, there was still one person left to speak.
Mr. Wilford, do you wish to make a statement?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about what happened that day.
But I do applaud you, because it takes a powerful man to know that somebody has hurt them and do what you, get up there and say what you just said. I have a child. She is 4. And I can imagine the hurt, the pain from what you learned. Just tell us what I can do. So when I thank you for your forgiveness.
And now it's time for the judge to announce her sentence.
Mr. Relford, an incredibly horrible event happened that has changed the lives of 2 families forever. Nothing can fix it. I am going to accept the Commonwealth's recommendation. Murder, 25 years. And I truly wish for you the very best. Thank you.
Trey Relford received 25 years for murder and an additional 6 years for robbery.